I remember a wedding where I found myself marooned, not on a desert island, but at the edge of one of my most terrifying places on earth, the dance floor. I mean, for me, that might as well have been a cliff's edge, peering down into this swirling, joyful abyss. Everyone else moved with this effortless rhythm as if born knowing the language of movement, and I, on the other hand, felt weighed down by a gravity I didn't know how to shed, terrified of stumbling into the messiness of having to just be myself. I stood frozen, a castaway on a social shoreline. But then, my eyes shifted. The people spinning and swaying weren't following some agreed-upon choreography. They were writing it themselves in real time, their bodies becoming both question and answer. And my eyes landed on this one guy, a picture of controlled chaos. He'd stumble, recover, and invent moves from thin air, turning every offbeat, awkward moment into something that somehow belonged. Watching him, I realized he wasn't dancing despite the awkwardness or messiness of being human. He was dancing because of it. In that moment, something loosened in my chest. I stood up, walked onto that dance floor, and added my own goofy, heavy-footed steps to the great, messy choreography of that moment. I guess sometimes the most radical thing you can do is just show up exactly as you are and trust there's going to be room for your unique rhythm in the grand dance of everything. I mean, let me be honest. I have 2 left feet, 2 left hands. I trip over my own shadow, if I have not already made that clear. So when I talk about people who wait for the perfect conditions to dance, yeah, that's me. And then there are the people who understand that the dance floor is just wherever you are. The music is whatever you can hear, and the choreography includes everything. Everything. They use everything they've got to transform it into a dance. This idea of transformation, of taking everything you've got and making it a dance, kept bringing this one word to mind: alchemy. Okay, honestly, I feel like I'm stretching it a little bit, and I feel a little bit silly because when I hear alchemy, I picture a wizard in a pointy hat waving crystals around. But the word kept nagging at me. So I did what any self-respecting podcaster does when confused. I went down a Google rabbit hole. Turns out I had it all wrong. Alchemy isn't exactly magic. It's the science of transformation. It's not fluff. It's a profound way of being. I knew the word had something to do with change, but as I dove into the etymology, I became obsessed with the actual science behind it. Those medieval alchemists were onto something far more beautiful than I expected. Okay, check this out. For centuries, alchemists tried to turn lead into gold, thinking transformation meant changing one thing into something entirely different. But the real insight is this: lead and gold are just different arrangements of the same particles. Lead has 82 protons, gold has 79, thank you, Google. Just 3 tiny particles determining whether something is worthless or precious. Scientists have knocked those 3 little protons out of lead atoms to create gold. And now, the process costs more than the gold it creates, but the principle remains. Everything is already connected in the same fundamental dance of energy and matter. True alchemy doesn't make the heavy disappear. It teaches the quote-unquote heavy how to shine. The carbon in your body was forged in dying stars. The water in your tears has been rain, ocean, cloud. Each form just another movement in this endless waltz of becoming. Everything you've ever been is still right there, waiting for the next movement of this continually unfolding dance. This is why the most profound transformations happen not when we escape our circumstances, but when we learn to dance with them, when we stop trying to become someone else and start discovering new ways to be exactly who we are. The real masters of alchemy aren't in laboratories. They're the people who take the raw materials of their lives, everything, all the weight, all the difficulty, all the unexpected plot twists, the laughs, the joy, the hurt, and somehow, impossibly, make gold and dance with it. Today we meet Karma, singer, dancer, alchemist. Someone who reminds us to open ourselves up to transformation, so we can truly shine.
You're listening to
Sounds of the Sidewalk.
Welcome to Sounds of the Sidewalk podcast.
Today, we are here with a special guest. Her name is
Karma.
Welcome here, Karma. Thank you for coming today.
Thank you. It's a privilege.
So as always, your guest today, we have your host today. We have Enrique and Naylenie. So just to begin today, I know that you've been a longtime member already with Voices. So how long would you say you've been already here?
I want to say at least 3 years. It could be 4. It was after you won AGT and before the Corona thing, whatever that's called, finished.
Yeah.
Oh.
So I got a call right before you did your Sounds of the Sidewalk video. Yeah. And I went to that and I said, well, I don't know the song. And they said, oh, come down anyway. I said, okay. So it was kind of funny because it was the first time that everybody was seeing each other. So everybody was in their little clusters, I'm going, I'm not sure about this. And then I realized that everybody just so excited to see everybody, for the first time, that they were just all getting to know each other and stuff. And so the director Steph put everybody in 2 circles, and I just joined the outside circle and was dancing in my wheelchair. And pretty soon she goes, get on in here. And I went, oh, wait, me? You're talking to me? And so I was in your video. And it was only my second time of being with you guys. So that was kind of exciting.
I love that you're in that video.
Yeah.
It's so cool that you're able to be in one of those. I feel like it's a very important video, especially because that song, Sounds of the Sidewalk, is very symbolic for
Voices of our city.
Yeah.
And you also, where were you when the Golden Buzzard happened?
I was in my van staying at the Jewish Community Center, free park or safe parking, and watching it on my iPad. I can cry. And I just sobbed. It was so powerful. I thought, oh my God, and it was so amazing. And the lady that did the narration that's no longer with us, she took my breath away. And at that point, there was a lady named Nancy that was also staying at the center. And I said, I heard her talking about it after it had happened. And I said, I want to be with you guys. And she said, well, we're not really doing anything except for online right now, but I'll let you know. And it was like not long after that I was called for the video, to come and join us. And it was
nice.
Yes.
So I came in a little bit after.
Yeah.
I came in after the video, so it's been 4 years. My 4th year anniversary just passed. So
well, then I was 4 years because I was at the food bank when you came in.
Yeah. We used to work
together.
Food bank. Yeah. Giving out food right there on Market and 16th.
Yeah.
So was that your first, I guess, knowledge of Voices by watching the video on your iPad?
Yeah.
So you never heard about it before?
And I thought, how do I not know? I sing. Well, how do I not know that this is here? I was just like, when they said San Diego, I went, what? No way,
Yeah.
So at that point, I started asking, I want to be a member of this. I started singing when I was 5.
At 5 years old.
At 5.
Nice.
And I was singing in church with the adult choir. And a lady in the audience was a singing teacher. And she said to my mom, your daughter has talent. I'd like to teach her. And my mom says, we don't really have money for lessons, because they were pretty broke. My dad was a cop, but he wasn't making that much money. And then when I was in 6th grade, he got in a real bad accident and had to retire. My mom was a beautician, funerals. I was getting like $60 for a funeral when I was like 7. That was a lot of money. I was born in 46.
Yeah.
So that was a lot of money. So I sang weddings and funerals and concerts, little church concerts and community concerts and
You've been singing
for a long
pretty
time.
much your whole life.
Pretty much. I stopped singing when I was 23. I mean, professionally. And, I don't know why. I just started doing other stuff.
How did it feel once you reconnected with that side of you?
Amazing. My son, which is 50 now, he kept saying, "Why are you not singing? Why are you not singing?" We'd sing in the car. And I don't know. I guess I was just missing that part. That part had got lost. And then when I came to Voices, here I go again. When I came to Voices, it all came back.
Oh, it's so sweet.
What moves you the most at Voices? Like, what keeps you connected here?
More than one thing, quite a few things. The people. They accept you for who you are. They don't want anything from you, but your friendship. They don't ask anything from you. The music, of course, I've always been connected to that and kind of forgot that I was. And the director, you can see the music coming out of her. And Steph is an amazing person, amazing personality, beautiful. To watch her, you don't even have to hear to know that there's music happening, just watching her. And that was very powerful for me. That one woman leading all these people. And they were all, I don't even know that there's words for it. They were just all there and present. There's not too many places where you can go where everybody is present.
Yes.
And that was amazing to me that one person started something that just kind of grew, and without even making it grow, it just happened. And that's, with the way the world is now, that's just kind of unheard of.
So you've been through many stages of, like, from when we were at Market and 16th, you've seen a big transition. How did that, impact you, and how was that? What have you seen? Like, has it?
Well, I miss the food bank. I go back occasionally when I can to help out. I really miss that, helping that kind of thing. When it came here to the church, of course, the facilities were 1,000 times better, Yeah. The acoustics are amazing. And I think the people connect more here at the church than they did at the food bank. I'm not really sure why, but I feel that there's more open conversation and more connection with people getting to know each other honestly. And that's, again, like I said before, that just doesn't happen too much anymore.
Yeah.
Everybody's for themselves. And when you come here, they're not. They're for you.
I think human connection is so important because as humans, we all crave it, especially, without, phones are cool and everything, but one-on-one, real life connection, looking someone in the eye, having a conversation.
Exactly.
Those are things that you can't just grasp.
Well, said like looking someone in the eye, there's a lot of people, not a lot, there's some people here that for their past lives, they want to connect, but they don't have words, whether they're scared or timid. I'm not really sure, but you can just look at them in the eye, like you said, and that there's a connection there. You don't need words because the heart is there. And the feeling of being safe is there. And that's amazing right there.
I love that. I love that sentiment.
You also dance, right?
I do. I danced 17 years standing up. When I say standing up, now I'm in a wheelchair. And I do competition ballroom in my wheelchair. I tried doing hip hop, but I wasn't so good at that.
Yeah.
It was just moves. I tried really hard, but it just was not. Ballroom's my love. And like I said, I danced 17 years standing up in ballroom in Long Beach. And then when I got in a wheelchair, that kind of ended, and I came here to wheelchair dance, and I was dance director for wheelchair dancers. And last October, I stepped out and handed it over to somebody else. And now I'm just with voices, and I love it. I also get to work at a wonderful dance studio, and that is part of my passion.
Yeah.
You
Dancing
are
and singing.
talented individual.
One of these days, I really want to be able to sing and dance at the same time. Haven't quite got that down yet, but
You got to do the acting too, so you're a triple threat,
yeah.
you know?
Working on that. Well, I did backstage for 30 years. Sorry.
It's okay.
Oh, that came in like
I did
right when
backstage.
theater came in.
Yeah.
Dun, 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 dun.
I did backstage for 30 years doing costumes, hair, makeup, set design, sound, lights, little experience of it all. And that was so much fun. And that was pretty much my passion. Now with the La Jolla Playhouse, it's the first time I'm ever really acting. And I found out that I was pretty good at improv, and somebody said, "Well, were you ever a dresser in the theater?" And I said, "Yeah." And they go, "How many people? What's the top you ever worked with?" And I said, 60. And they said, "Okay, every time you went into a different dressing room, you were a different person, right?" I said, "Yeah." Because, some people want to joke. Some people want to be very serious. Some people want to help you go over their lines. They're just all different people.
Yeah.
And I had to learn to be a different person for each one. And so come to find out that was improv.
Yeah.
And I had no clue.
And you've been doing it your whole life without even knowing.
Pretty much. I was in one theater production in a college, and it was Jesus Christ Superstar.
Oh.
And I was on a bike, a Harley, and I had a person doing acrobatics off the back of me. So that was a lot of fun. I was one of Herod's gang. But other than that, I've never been in a show.
I'm trying to imagine you on a Harley bike with this one person randomly just standing on a handstand or something on the back
She was doing like flips off and over the side, and it was pretty interesting. I'm going, okay, That was in Santa Cruz. That was a lot of fun, but that's the only production I've really ever been in.
Yeah.
It sounds like so much fun. Do you have any pictures or videos of this? I would love to see this.
I do have one of the Herod's gang. I put it on Facebook. If I can find it, I'll show you.
We'll talk after about this. I want to see this. I'm curious to see, do you think that the influence of your mom really had something to do with you coming into like the theater? Because she was a beautician, right?
Yep.
So going into theater, the arts and stuff like that, do you think that had something to do with it?
Well, she was a big supporter of anything I wanted to do. When she was young, she danced with Tommy Dorsey and Benny Goodman and Artie Shaw and all those people with her brother. And so she had that dance in her, I used to stand on her feet when I was little, and she would dance, and I'd be standing on her feet, and we'd just in the front room, my dad would say, "You guys are just stupid,"
And you're just practicing for the real thing.
Yeah, I guess I was.
You've won all kinds of awards, and you are really talented, because you've shown me some of your videos at your wheelchair dance competitions.
Yeah.
You do great. You do amazing.
It's fun. I've had some really good coaches, and some amazing people help me with different things. All through my life, I've had some amazing people. Until I just broke my hip. And until then, I didn't realize how many amazing people that I had in my life that just jumped out of the woodwork and was there to help.
Well, we all love you. You're very strong. You are the strongest, one of the strongest people I know, because that day I was so surprised. I really did not believe that you broke a hip. You were so calm, cool, and collected. Like, we were having a full conversation on the bathroom floor. Like a full 30-minute conversation.
It was kind of funny because after I got out from the bathroom stall, I was looking up and I saw all these beautiful faces, all these beautiful women looking down at me. And I kind of felt like there's an old movie, it's a Gidget, where she's surfing. It's like in the 50s, she's surfing and she got hurt and she passed out and somebody drug her out of the ocean and she's laying on the beach looking up at all these faces. And that's kind of what I kind of felt like. Gidget. Okay, I'm Gidget now. You know?
Yeah.
Like deja vu.
Yeah, all these beautiful faces looking down at me going, what happened? I'm laying on the floor going, oh dear, you know?
Well, we're glad to see you back up and running and doing your thing. And
it's so good to be back. The first day I was back, so much love. When I was in the rehab, so much love. Voices just... So many people just stepped out and showed me how much they cared.
Yeah.
And that's, again, people don't do that very often. You know?
A lot of choir members go visit?
A lot of choir members.
That's right.
Got a lot of texts from choir members and people that I just said, hi, how you doing? Several of them just was there. What do you need? What do you need? One of them just got me a bed. I was sleeping on kind of like a camp metal bed with a 2-inch mattress. And they brought me a bed and set it up. Now I'm actually comfortable and can sleep. You know?
It's beautiful to see like community and the power of like community coming together to like help each other out.
Through my life, I've always had a lot to offer and always was taken advantage of. Didn't realize that, you know, because of what I had. And like I said, when I was in grade school, I had a pool. So my mom and dad had a pool built so that I could entertain there instead of going somewhere where they didn't know where I was. And so I had that. And then through my life, I had a lot of other things to offer. And I was taken advantage of, but I didn't realize. I thought I just had a bunch of friends. But until I came here, and at in my 70s, I realized that I do have a lot to offer, but it's me that I can offer. It's not anything I have. It's just me. And everybody at Voices has shown me that. It's very, very powerful.
That's beautiful. And that's enough, you know?
It's more than enough.
Yeah.
It kind of... I don't know whether the word is solidify, but it kind of shows me that I was a good person all along. I just knew the wrong people.
Mm-hmm.
I was around the wrong people. And now I'm around my people, my community.
Yeah.
Just how you show out for your community, they show out for you as well.
I know. That's never happened. And it was just like, whew. It was like plugging your finger and a light plug on. It was like, whoa, what is this? This is very wonderful, you know. But I thank my life for Voices. They got me a place where I'm living. Wasn't with them very long. They had me in a hotel. I wasn't there very long. I was in where I am now, you know, and it's I'd still be in my van. My son had bought me a van, so I had a nice van. I was much better than most people as far as living, but I was still in my 70s and homeless, you know. But I got with Voices, and I wasn't there just a short time before I was in a hotel. And like I said, I thank my life for Voices and for the people that helped me get to where I am today, and all the energy and the powerful, powerful people that let me know that I was a good person and that I was okay and that I was safe. And I can't thank them enough. for that.
And then an interesting thing that I learned too, and getting to know you and in your process, is that you like designed the inside of your van and actually did the woodwork and all that stuff, which to me I was like, man, that's dope.
It was pretty cool. It went through a lot of metamorphoses for sure. You know, put this, or no, that doesn't work. And then I would measure what I needed. And measure, okay, I need something this size, and I'd look and oh, maybe it'll work, and it would just fit right in there perfectly. It's just like, yes, thank you. But I was very comfortable. I had a little toilet in there and everything. It was kind of like the Taj Mahal compared to what other people had. So I knew that I was lucky, and that helped me from being depressed about being homeless, because I had a lot more than most, and I was very thankful for that. I worked hard for it, and my son helped me, but it helped me from getting down in the dumps so far. You know, all I had to do is look and say, oh, you're good, Karma, you're good. You know, look, you know, try to help this person. You know, what can you do to help this person? Because you've got enough. And when a time comes and a place will open up, then I'll be thankful for that. But right now, I was so thankful for what I had, and so thankful for what I didn't have, you know, and to watch other people trying to get on with their lives and have nothing, you know, sleeping on the sidewalk. When I was at Market and 16th, watching the people come, and, you know, people tearing their hair out because they have issues and there's no one to help them. And then if there is people to help them, they don't want to be helped because they're scared or whatever their issues are. And that was just eye-opening for me, and so thankful for what I did have, you know. And if I hadn't have been there with Voices doing that, I might not have been as thankful as I was. So they really opened my eyes in many different times, many different places. Just the idea of what was happening that I was able to see, and that I knew I was okay. I may not have everything I want or have everything that I could have had if I'd done my life differently, but I was thankful that I had what I had, and that I had who I had. And that's Voices.
And so I see you grew up with a lot of creativity in your life, and we try to use the elements of creativity to empower people here. How has that played a role in your mental health? Like,
a lot. I really loved it when you had songwriting on Mondays. I understand why it's not on Mondays anymore, but I work on Wednesdays. So I can't come on Wednesdays to the songwriting and yoga and art. And I'd love to join all of that. And it's amazing that it's there, and it brings stuff. I've heard people in the choir say, I never knew I could write. I never knew I could draw. I never knew. And it all comes out of all the people that are helping make this world a better place.
And how does it feel to see that song like come alive too, with the band putting music to it, and you guys start singing it together as a choir? Like, how does that feel?
It's amazing. I just want to dance, you know. There's some songs that I just can't help but dance, and then I go, oh, there's somebody behind me I'm going to run into, you know. But the band I mean, I've been in other groups, you know, long time ago, but we've never had a full band, and it adds so much to it, you know. All the people, and you can tell that they're having a good time, helping us have a good time, helping us sound better, helping us feel better. And everybody's having a great time. And the energy in the room when it starts going is 10 plus. It's amazing to see the people, even the people that come as guests, when we start singing and they start playing, the looks on the guests' faces are like, what the heck's happening here?
Yeah. You got some solos too, so how does it feel to be, you know, under the light doing the solo?
It feels good.
Yeah, because you you really come into yourself when you do your solos, because all eyes on Karma. Because once you start, like, you feel the song, you convey the message, and you make us feel something.
Thank you.
So you do a great job.
I really enjoy it. All my life, when I was taking lessons, I was taught to sing only what was on the page. So I don't really know how to improv. So that stops me from getting up there when Steph says, or Natalie says, anybody want to sing a solo? I always hesitate because I don't know it. And that's the way I was trained. I wish I wasn't trained that way, because then I could just get up there and, but in my mind, and when I sing, if I make a mistake, I stop. And you can't do that. So I'm struggling with that. I would like to have I'm not afraid to sing. I'm afraid to make a mistake, and I'm not from anybody else's opinion, but mine. Yeah. So I really want to change that. And one of these days I'll just raise my hand when I don't know the song, and I'll say, me, take me.
But you did training, so that means you have the tools.
I do have the tools, but I don't have the improv tools. I don't have the tools that let me get up there and try.
But
because
you gotta remember, sometimes the mistakes are the most beautiful part of the art that you make.
I hear that, but my mind won't let me do that.
So another beautiful thing is that there's training offered too, right?
Yes.
Have you came and trained with Natalie or with Steph?
I've trained with Natalie, and I've trained with Steph, and I've trained with Leonard, and all of them are all of them. And it's really, really Leonard helped me with the one that I have a solo with, Imagine, and what a beautiful day. Yeah, he helped me with that. But actually what he did was he said, try this, and I recorded it, so then I learned off of that. But I took the tape home, or the his vocal part home, and then I worked with it. But again, he helped me hear what could happen, and then I put a bunch of other stuff with it. But I would have liked to have just sat down with him and go, okay, let's do it. But that I couldn't do that. Yeah. I'm working on that, though.
That's right.
Next thing we know, you might be freestyling with a rap up there.
Well, probably not a rap. If I can't do hip hop, I'm sure I can't do rap.
Yeah. Well, it's been a pleasure to have your voice here on, Voices of the Sounds of the Sidewalk podcast.
Thank you.
And letting our listeners get to know you a little bit and get to hear some of your story. It's been an honor to be, here with you today.
It was a real honor when I've asked. It was just like, oh, really? You want me?
Yeah.
It's been fun. It's been a lot of fun, and I appreciate being able to tell my story. And I hope that whoever hears this will come and join us and see and feel what I feel every Monday.
Yeah.
Before we go, I do want to ask, do you have a piece of advice that you would like to leave our listeners with?
I would say live your life as free as you can. Don't judge people, even though you may be judged. Try not to judge people. It'll open up a world and new things for you to see. I think that's it.
And with that, we wrap up this episode with Karma.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
That's our episode for today. And as we wrap up today's conversation around the theme of alchemy, we hope you found a piece of yourself in Karma's remarkable story. And if you're moved by what you hear on Sounds of the Sidewalk, please consider following, rating, and subscribing on your favorite podcast platform. Your support helps these vital stories echo even further. And our deepest gratitude goes out to the Conrad Prebys Foundation for their unwavering commitment to this podcast and for empowering us to share these powerful narratives. And to all of you who tune in, Thank you so much for being here. Every listen is a step towards connection, a moment where you help shine a light on the lives and experiences of people living outside, reminding us all of our shared humanness. We appreciate you. Until next time.